As an entrepreneur, I've had a near infinite supply of software product ideas. And after each one, I'm left thinking to myself, gosh, I wish I could just code it. John Doerr, the American billionaire, venture capitalist, and author of Measure What Matters, says in his book, ideas are easy, execution is everything. I had the ideas, now I needed to execute. So I decided I'd learn to code. However, there was an easier way. If you, like me, are an entrepreneur and you've had a ton of software product ideas, but you just don't know how to code yet, you need to start off by liking this video and hitting subscribe below. It really helps me out and it literally costs you nothing. I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, I run a property management company and I'm a real estate investor myself. And I've spent a lot of time trying to automate like simple tasks, repetitive tasks. I use a lot of Zapier. If you're not familiar with it, it's a website that allows you to connect different other websites and automate processes. A few of the tasks that I've automated are receiving and sending utility bills to tenants. So when an invoice comes into my inbox, I have that bill parsed automatically and then uploaded to my software so that it automatically sends the correct water bill request from the tenant. Or scheduling showing appointments for prospective tenants, and at the same time automatically sending a notification to the existing tenant that a showing is scheduled for, Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. I found that these are tasks that I can do them myself easily enough, but by taking them off my plate completely, it really streamlines my workflow and allows me to focus more on the more important tasks at hand. To give you an idea, last summer I was sitting at my desk in my office and I was trying to reply to all of the prospective tenants who had inquired about this new rental I had listed. And I was getting frustrated. My screen was hard to read because of the light that was, the glare that was shining off of my screen from the window next to me. And I was really trying to get back to everyone who had inquired on the property. I really tried to give everyone a shot at it, making sure that I follow up with them a couple times and work around their schedule to make sure that each and every person is able to see the home who's interested. In the middle of summer, for a nice home like this, I usually get like 100 to 200 leads just in the first 2 or 3 days, which is really difficult to keep up with, especially when I'm doing it all manually. And, I could have used a website like Calendly or Cal.com, but they just don't fit the bill for what I wanted. I couldn't have it like one of those websites automatically reply to the lead or follow up with them a couple times before scheduling. I couldn't have them send a notification to the current existing tenant at the home to let them know when a showing was actually scheduled. They didn't really help that much. I could have used them to, put a link in an automated email from my CRM or a text message from my CRM. But again, I wasn't able to repeatedly follow up with people, and people tend not to reply right away. I've had much better luck following up with people 3 or 4 times over the course of a week before getting a response than, just sending one message to them and hoping that one message worked and that they'd respond and schedule an appointment from that one message. Then it dawned on me. I was like, okay, I've automated a bunch of other tasks using Zapier. Can I do it with Zapier? And I tried, I looked for a few workarounds, and I could make something kind of work, but it wouldn't really do what I wanted it to. So ultimately I was like, you know what? I should just learn to code. And so, I guess that's what I started doing. It can't be that hard. There've been a lot of strides in technology and coding in the last 2 decades. Like, I'm sure I can figure it out. And so I decided I'd learn to code and, just create my own solution. So the next thing I thought was, all right, what's the best way to learn to code? I could do one of these in-person coding boot camps for a few months, which might be a little difficult because usually they're during the day and I still have a job, and not to mention they cost like 15 or 20 grand to do. So that was kind of out of the question. Didn't really want to do that. So I went to Google like any sane person would do, and I typed in learn to code. And the first thing that popped up was this Codecademy website saying full stack developer, discount of 25% if you sign up in the next 3 days, and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? That was good enough for me. And so I learned to code. I started working my way through the whole full stack developer course. It took me about 2 months, and I was really trying to allot as much time as I could to it. Whenever I had free time, I was working through the course. And I was learning where to put curly brackets, when to use square brackets, and I was using a whole lot more semicolons than I've ever used in my entire life. I learned that every reputable code base has well-recorded documentation. I learned about authorization and authentication, although I probably couldn't tell you which one is which at this point. I learned about APIs, data security, common attacks on software applications so that I could help defend against hackers. But when I finished the course and was ready to start working on my real-world solution, I was stuck. The way the projects were organized made it really easy to go from module to module and learn the basic concepts of, whatever part of the full stack development you were currently learning about, but it didn't really give you a great opportunity to understand like the file structure as a whole for a full-scale project that you'd be doing in the real world. Not to mention that the code that you learn in Codecademy, it doesn't include all of the like SDKs and coding libraries that you might need to make the actual product that you want to make. So when I started working on my solution, my product idea that I was really pumped up about, I couldn't figure out where I needed to go. So I knew that in order to create my vision, I had to figure out how to put all these pieces together. So I went back to Google and I searched how to create a calendar scheduling app. And so I was presented with dozens upon dozens of blogs and websites that just walked me through how to create the app that I was looking to create. Yeah, it didn't have all the features that I wanted, but I was able to do that once I had the overall structure of the project in place. There were even some open source options out there that I could just fork a repository of on GitHub and get to work right inside the project. Right after I did that search and was like looking through these websites, it dawned on me. I was like, wait, I just spent 2 months learning to code on Codecademy and learning the syntax and all these different things. All I needed to do was go to Google and ask Google to tell me how to make what I wanted to make. It was easy enough to learn the syntax. You can do that in a couple of days, or just copy a project and then ask Google the questions about why is X here and a curly brace here and a semicolon there. It was really easy to do, and it's like, just use Google for Google's intended purpose. So I guess I started my coding journey in the right place when I used Google to search for learn to code. I guess I just didn't realize that I started with the wrong prompt. Let me know that you watched this video all the way to the end by commenting a computer emoji down below in the comments. And if you got some value or entertainment out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you would hit subscribe and like this video. Like I said, it means a ton to me and I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching and have a good one. Thanks, bye.